Why is comedy the only form of the arts where people think that they have to agree with or approve the content? Why is that? You don't walk through a museum with a towel and throw it over paintings that you don't like.
No, Jim Norton, that's the clip from Can We Take a Joke? It's a new film about outrage culture and how stand-up comedians are pushing back against political correctness. Now, earlier, I spoke with the film's executive producer, Lucianoff. He's a free speech proponent in both dark comedy cellars and college classrooms. He's also the president and CEO of the Foundation for Individual Rights in Education. We asked him if PC culture is killing America's funny bone. I have to ask the question that the film poses, can we take a joke?
I like to think we can, but I'm afraid that we're losing our ability to, and most of all because we're forgetting how to laugh and how to take ourselves not seriously on college campuses.
Yeah. And
the more these people go out into the quote-unquote real world, I think the less funny it's getting, unless we check ourselves a little bit.
No, it's true, because college campuses have become so oppressive in terms of censorship and free speech, and that's why Chris Rock made news when he said he doesn't even go to college campuses anymore because people are so overly sensitive. It can't be fun for comics to go and talk to a group of people that they perceive as judging them the entire time.
Right, and we heard this from comedian after comedian, and what was so great was Chris Rock came out and said this when we were almost done with the project.
Yeah.
You know, we've been working on this project for years, and it started way back in 2012 when I was doing a podcast at the Comedy Cellar, and Lee Camp, you know, who had self-described as the most liberal comedian on the panel, said that even he didn't like playing campuses anymore, and that was back in 2012,
yeah,
which was comparatively a golden age for free speech on campus.
So how do comics reconcile that? Because comedians are notoriously liberal,
yeah,
but at the same time so anti-PC.
Yeah, I think it's serious cognitive dissonance. You know, and it's funny because, but I still think there are a lot of people. You know, I consider myself a political liberal. You know,
yeah,
they're what called the ACLU liberals, the old school people who believe you don't have a right not to be offended, and they're in serious conflict with the we're offended at everything kind of faction. So I think that's a growing tension between sort of like the different political wings and comedians themselves.
Yeah, and Jim Norton makes a great point. Like, you don't walk through an art gallery and start throwing towels on things that you don't necessarily like or agree with.
Yep.
But comedy, for some reason, is a place where people almost enjoy being outraged. Let's talk about Gilbert Gottfried a little bit, and that case, because that's featured prominently in the film.
He kills it. I mean, I teach First Amendment law, and he's able to distill concepts of First Amendment law into zingers. Like, the guy is absolutely brilliant in it. And one observation that he makes is that, you know, there's something in it for people to feel offended these days, because what people are really saying when they're saying I'm offended is they're patting themselves on the back saying I did something, I'm a good person, I was offended.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's like a personal litmus test, you know, and I will pick something out that you've said that I take issue with because I'm a better person and I'm more inclusive and I love people more than you do. You're obviously a hateful person to be able to say something like that, because when you say something that people disagree with, somehow it betrays a deeper intention in your heart, and that's very dangerous, I think.
Yeah, and it's been interesting in the way the movie's been received, because it actually already has been shown on 240 campuses, even before it came out on every possible platform, shown on 240 campuses, and mostly it produced really good conversations. It was really well received. Yeah. But at Irvine, at UC Irvine, someone pulled a fire alarm to prevent it from getting shown. It's nuts.
Well, what are you, Nero? I mean, that's insane to me that there could possibly be something in there just because it's challenging your thinking and your way of life, challenging it. You know, not necessarily judging it, just asking some questions about it. That somehow that in itself is an offense.
And they hadn't even seen it yet.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing that I'm really proud of about the movie is, one, it's a way to trick people into learning more about freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Two, is that it's actually really funny. So, you know, just give it, even if you're skeptical of it, you know, give it a shot. I think at the very least, you'll learn a little bit something about Lenny Bruce, the great comedian. You'll learn a little bit about freedom of speech, and you'll laugh a lot.